Thanks for tuning in. Occupy the Media is an effort by Free Speech TV to deliver the latest news from Occupy Wall Street, stories and perspectives you won't see on the corporate media. And we want to do this by giving the mic to you, the 99% out there. So join the conversation by calling us toll-free at 877-575-FSTV. The big issue we'll be talking about today on Occupy the Media is home foreclosures. What do you think needs to happen to solve the mortgage crisis? The lines are open. Give us a call. But first, let's get started with the latest headlines. Occupy Portland activists gathered in Richland, Washington with a message for government officials. Hey, how about you clean up your nuclear waste? The demonstration happened in front of the Hanford Nuclear Reservation, which opened in the 1940s to build nuclear bombs for the military. The site has become a graveyard for old nuclear weapons and pollution. Activists say it's time to clean it up. In Oakland, a Jesuit seminary student arrested during an Occupy Wall Street demonstration has been sentenced. Joseph Hoover of Berkeley will serve 6 days in a county jail work program and 2 years probation. He was found guilty of a misdemeanor after taking part in protests in January. Hoover was among more than 300 protesters arrested that day. In Charlotte, North Carolina, protesters are preparing for a large-scale march on the Democratic National Convention this fall. The march will take place the Sunday before the DNC is set to begin in September. Organizers are hoping that as many as 10,000 people will join the effort. The arrests of journalists and photographers at Occupy Wall Street events is prompting some to say that free and independent journalism is under attack. Most recently, a cameraman from Minneapolis and a Pulitzer Prize-winning photographer from Milwaukee were arrested while covering Occupy actions. Both had their press credentials clearly visible. Occupy organizers say the wrongful arrests of working journalists and photographers will get increased attention as more incidents pile up. And in Chicago's South Side, dozens of activists barricaded themselves inside a clinic to protest cuts to mental health services. Here's more.
Frustrated by 3 years of silence from the city, members of Occupy Chicago barricaded themselves inside a mental health clinic last weekend. Woodland Mental Health Clinic is facing imminent closure, and activists took the radical step after writing more than 4,000 letters to the mayor and hearing nothing in return. Woodland is one of 7 healthcare centers slated to be closed by the end of the month. The clinic has petitioned the city to reconsider its decision because activists say there is a growing need for services among the mentally ill in Southside Chicago. Employees and supporters occupied the clinic against police recommendations. They say Mayor Rahm Emanuel's administration is not listening and they need to be heard.
Because we're not just fighting for us. We think it's unfair that the police are forced to be babysitters for the mentally ill. Because we don't need more cops. We need more health care.
For Occupy the Media, this is Caroline Briggs.